Welcome to Amy Learns to Cook. On the show today, we're going to make spinach and artichoke lasagna roll-ups. These are so good and usually results in leftovers that I take to work for lunch the next day. You can even make this dairy-free. So join me as we make spinach and artichoke lasagna roll-ups. So we're going to start, as all good dishes start, right, by sweating off some onion. So we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in there, and I have some chopped onion. You want about a half of an onion. This was a pretty big onion, so if you have a big onion, a half, a little onion, a whole onion. And we're just going to sweat this off until they become translucent and we lose that little raw edge to them. Okay, so we're going to put a little garlic in here. And you don't want to put your garlic in when you first put your onions in because it will get bitter. We're just going to use our little garlic press here. And I've got 3 cloves of garlic. I like it a little garlicky, but you can put as much as you would like. If you like it really garlicky, go for it, right? So we're going to cook that just about a minute. Okay, so we're going to turn off the heat and we are going to remove these onions into a little bowl and we're going to let them cool. This is going to go into our filling and we don't want this hot like this when we're making our filling. So we're going to put it in here and let it cool. Okay, so in this bowl I have a 16-ounce package of frozen chopped spinach. I thawed it in the microwave and I squeezed it dry. So it's pretty dry in here. What we're going to do now is we are going to chop up some artichoke hearts. Now this is basically just artichoke hearts in water. Don't get the ones in oil. They come just in a regular can. This can happens to be big because I get it at my local club store. And I love these things. I use them all the time. They are great. I put them on salads. I put them on all kinds of fun stuff. And in dishes like this, right? So we're basically going to take these artichoke hearts and we're just going to chop them up. You want them chopped pretty good. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that in our bowl. It's a little on the juicy side. Okay, so we are making our filling and we're going to go ahead and boil our noodles. So I have a pot here filled with water. And this is actually an oval stock pot. It makes it great for cooking lasagna because lasagna is long, so it's perfect for that. And we're going to go ahead and put a little olive oil into the water. And we're going to really season this up with a lot of salt. One big mistake people make is they just don't season the water enough when they're making pasta. It needs to be really salty because the salt is what seasons your pasta and it really can bring your dish up to another level. So we're going to put in 15 things of lasagna here, which will be almost this whole pack. They come like this and we're just going to go ahead and drop them in and we're going to put 15 of them in here. That's 4, 15. And we're going to cook the pasta until just before the al dente stage because we are putting this in the oven. We don't want it to overcook in the oven. So we do not want it to be cooked all the way. So we're going to cook it till it's pliable so we can work it and stuff it with our filling. Okay, the next thing we're going to put in here is some ricotta. I am allergic to milk, so I have the better ricotta cheese, which is dairy-free. But certainly if you can eat the full dairy, go for the full dairy, right? This is what I have just because I have my allergy. So I'm going to go ahead and put this container in here. This is a 16-ounce container. Just because I have a dairy-free ricotta, I'm going to put a little bit of dairy-free sour cream in here. That's not really something you would put in here if you had full dairy cheese, but because mine isn't, I want something to give it a little bit of an edge to it. We're also going to sprinkle in some Parmesan cheese. This is Go Veggies grated Parmesan style topping. It's dairy-free. So you can make this a dairy-free dish, but certainly put freshly grated Parmesan in your version if you can have dairy, right? And we're just going to go ahead and stir this up. Wow, this looks good. And we're going to put a little bit of Italian seasoning in. I use Penze's Tuscan Sunset, but use your favorite Italian seasoning. If you're in a place that you don't really have Italian seasoning, basically it's basil, oregano, dried red pepper, garlic, thyme, fennel, black pepper, and aniseed. You can make your own mix. I'm sure that you can find a recipe on the internet. We're just going to give it a little bit of that. This version is really strong, so just season it to your taste, right? And as soon as these lasagna noodles are ready, we're ready to roll them up. Okay, so we're going to take our lasagna out, and they are just undercooked, which is a good thing. They're just cooked enough where they will bend. If you cook them too much, they'll break when you go to stuff them. We need to let these cool slightly, so I'm going to drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil just so they don't stick together. And we need to let them cool so we can handle them when we roll them up. Okay, so I had to let my onions and garlic cool a little bit more, so we're going to go ahead and put this in the filling. You don't really want to put this in too early when it's still warm, otherwise it could curdle your milk products in here. Put a little bit of salt in here to taste. And some pepper to taste, of course. Fresh ground. We're going to go ahead and stir it up. Okay, so now let's make our lasagna rolls. And I'm going to take a little bit of our sauce. You can just use your favorite sauce, homemade or otherwise, right? Depending on how much time you have. We're just going to go ahead and put a little bit of that on the bottom. And now we're going to take one of our noodles and we're going to stuff it. We're going to stuff it and roll it. So this is kind of a messy job, so that's just the fact of life for lasagna roll-ups. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our filling just by the spoonful, and we're going to fill our little noodles here. And then we're going to roll them up. Wow. Looking good. I put a little too much in that one, huh? And then we're going to put our little roll up into our baking dish. And then we're going to continue with our little roll ups. Go ahead and put a noodle down and fill her up. Maybe I won't fill it up so much like I did the first one, right? Just make sure you spread it out sort of to the edges. And now we're gonna roll it up. And these are great because you can pretty much stuff these with whatever you want, right? You can make all kinds of different fillings. Wow, they look so good. All kinds of different fillings for these. and have a good old time, right? So I'm going to continue to fill these until we get all of our noodles filled. Okay, our lasagna roll-ups are all rolled up. We're going to go ahead and cover this with some more sauce. This is going to give us some nice flavor, and it'll keep our lasagna roll-ups from drying out in the oven. Wow, they look good. They look real good. You might not use all your sauce if you're using it out of a can. And of course, if you're going to have full dairy, you can cover this with some cheese, right? Me, I can't have that. So I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit of my dairy-free Parmesan. It'll be just as good for the non-cheese eaters, right? Looks good. So we're going to put this into a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes or until it's all nice and cooked and the flavors are melded and the pasta is done and the insides are warm and bubbly. Okay, our lasagna roll-ups are done and they look really good. I'm going to try to get one out of here. Wow, it smells really good and it looks really good. Wow. I can't wait to have some of this. It looks delicious. So let's take a taste. Now let's see how this tastes. Wow, it looks really good. Is it hot? It is really good. Even with the dairy-free ricotta. It tastes, you can really taste the spinach and the artichoke. It's really, it's a great combination. You could put, you know, anything in this: shredded chicken, ground beef, sausage. You could make this full dairy, full meat, or you can make this vegan, right? It's such a versatile dish, and it is so, so good. Wow. This is going to be great this week for lunch. Just heat it up in the microwave, and it will give you a really good lunch during the work week. If you like this recipe, please subscribe below and give me a comment and a like, and visit my website at amylearnstocook.com. I'm also on Twitter and Pinterest at Amy Learns to Cook.